What if you could build a business that gives you the life of freedom you deserve? What if you could find the secrets to marketing, leadership, customer service, and other aspects of business that help you exceed your goals? What if you could walk away from your business for 30 days and it never misses a beat? That's what this podcast is for, to help business leaders like you find freedom from the day-to-day grind and start spending your time doing the things you love. I'm Levi McClendon, and my co-host is Josh Taylor, and this is the Cheers to Freedom podcast.
Welcome to the Cheers to Freedom podcast. I am Josh Taylor, and I'm here with my co-host, Levi McClendon. Levi, how are you?
Who cares, Josh? Who really cares?
Who does? You know?
Does anyone really care? Do you really care, or are you just asking?
I don't know.
I'm curious.
I was just being polite. It's a Monday. I don't really care. But
I'm doing well.
I do care
I'm
about,
doing well.
what I do care about are the people that are listening to this podcast making a lot of money. But here's what makes me angry. I keep finding ways that people, business owners, and some of the people that are listening to this podcast are losing money. And if they just listen to this episode and the things that we're going to talk about, it will turn the tide. What do you think?
I'm excited for this one. I like when you get passionate, and that comes from caring. We care. Right. I get passionate too, man. We care about our customers. We care about what they're doing, and I know you and I talk quite a bit about the good things. Right? There's a lot of good things our customers do, but there's also some things that we're just like, really. Right. That's something sorry to say, but like my 15-year-old goofy, well, they're 16 now, my 16-year-old goofy high school kid does because he's not using his brain. And so that's frustrating. So I think sometimes we get frustrated. We're like, okay, don't be that 16-year-old high school student not using your brain. So I don't know if I'm being a little too direct. I don't apologize. This is just,
if you're listening,
it needs to be said.
And at any point you feel like in this podcast episode, we're speaking directly to you, we are. So
we keep listening.
So keep listening. We are talking to you. But here's the reason why we're going back to the basics today. And the reason why is because we've been having a lot of conversations with a lot of people that still don't get it. And they're wasting a lot of money. They're getting really frustrated because they're not seeing the needle move. And we can look at it and immediately diagnose the problem. And the problem is they're not building their list. It's like a part of what they're doing, but it's not the thing that they are doing. And if they would just focus on building the list, and we're going to talk about what that means and how you do it in this podcast, but if they just focus on that, it will be a game changer for them. If that becomes the number one thing, everybody's like, I want to sell this and I want to do that. And I want to be known for this. And I want to build your list, build your list, build your list, build your list, build your list. So, Levi, let's jump into the basics of building your list before I get on my soapbox too early.
The build your list basics.
Yes.
And I think here's the reality, Josh. I think like in anything, you get bored, right? You hear something over, you want to do something new, you want to be, what's the new shiny object or whatever. And the beauty of what we do, and when you're building that list, okay, it's what happens from the list that is so dang powerful.
Right.
And so I think sometimes when you forget about it, and that's why we're just reminding our customers, right? So if you're a customer, we're reminding you. If you're not a customer, and this goes with any industry. I don't care if you're washing cars or, own a restaurant, any retail, man, the data is king. You've got to build your list. And the beautiful thing about what we've been able to do with our customers is it's once you have that list, right? It's a numbers game. The more people in your list, the more opportunities for them to come back and see you, the more opportunity you're going to have to convert them to a member to continue your, increasing your memberships, right? And so I think that again, we're just going to go back to the basics. And Josh, I'm going to touch base real quick. So on the basics, right? On fundamentals. Most people know out there, I literally have 10 children, 8 of them still at home. I've coached, I played ball, that I played, baseball, played through college. And now we obviously watch baseball. I use baseball as our analogy here. but I also, coach kids, right? From the time they're 3 years old, 4 years old, and until they're, out of the house. And so the thing in talking about baseball, the basics, the fundamentals of the game are to catch and throw the baseball. You cannot win a baseball game at any level if you're not catching and throwing the baseball well. And that's what we teach our kids. But what happens is, you start catching and throwing, and it's kind of natural. So you start working on other things. And as soon as you take your thought process or mind off of the fundamentals and the basics, then that's when errors happen. That's when things happen that are unexpected. That's when you kind of forget about that to work on something else, and you're not as good as you were. Those very fundamental things in ball, and I don't care if it's baseball, basketball, football, I don't care. They're basics. I was just at a game. We'll talk football for just a second. I was at the national championship this last year, and unfortunately, it was a terrible game. It was a really cool stadium that we were at, and TCU, didn't really show up to the game. But what yeah, it was bad. It was a cool stadium. SoFi, I think that's what it's called. Man, that was amazing to be there. But anyway, here's what I noticed. I was there for pregame, Josh, and I videoed this. And I don't know if you'll be able to show this video. You probably not, but I videoed the pregame of the guys going out for patterns, like pregame warming up, doing very basic patterns, like 5 outs, 10 outs, out and ups, and it's just repetition. It wasn't anything great. It wasn't anything fancy. These guys were playing catch. They were doing basics, these patterns. And I showed that to my son. I said, look at Cash. I said, look what these guys are doing. They practice this every time. You go out to a Major League Baseball game and you're there for pregame. What are they doing? They're taking ground balls. They're throwing and catching the ball. They're doing the basics. And so
they're doing the same thing you see the high school students doing out on the field.
Exactly. Same thing that my kids are doing in, grade school. And so again, I just was thinking about that with what we do. I know we preach it. I know we're all over it, but man, get back to the dang basics, start building your list, build them huge lists. Like your goals shouldn't be, yes, they're memberships, which is awesome. And people frequenting, but man, your goal should be how big can we grow this list? That information is yours. Those phone numbers, they're yours. They're not Facebooks. They're not Twitters. They're not anyone else's. They're not Yelps. They're yours. Those are your phone numbers that you get to promote. You get to talk to your customers. You get to invite them back into your car wash anytime you want. You get to give them an offer to sign up for this 4th of July offer and just crush it. When it's yours, you get to do whatever you want to with it. So we got to get back to the basics and grow your flipping lists. All right.
Yeah. So
go.
And what we're talking about with growing your list is lead generation. And lead generation is not just a buzzword. Lead generation really is the lifeblood of any business. And I've worked with small businesses for years, even before I was working with Offsite. I've helped small businesses and startups get their business going. And, a lot of them have a really great idea for a product, but they have no idea how to market. And so when I start talking about lead generation and building their list, they're like, what do you mean? I was like, well, how are you going to get customers? How are you going to get people to buy from you? Well, I was going to make some posts on social media. Well, that's a terrible plan, mainly because you're renting space from Mark Zuckerberg when your plan is social media. I'm going to get people to show up on social media. Well, if you're not building a list, and like you just said, a list it's your property. It is probably the most valuable marketing asset that you can own. And it is not rented space. It's space that you own that you can reach out to anytime, anywhere you want to, however you want to. And when they opt out, that's fine. That's their choice. But you're not renting space from somebody else. That is your property that you get to engage when you want to engage. And so the importance of building that list, I want to just kind of show really quickly. We were talking with Zach, and last week I did a Facebook Live thing with Zach Davis, who is our senior account rep, but he also is an owner of a car wash, and he just recently opened up his car wash. And here's what he did, and this is the first time that he's ever done this with any car wash that he's worked with, is he made building his list the number one priority. From months before they opened to 3 months now that they're open, building their list and engaging that list is the number one thing that he focused on. And 3 months into it, after the rainiest season on record in Texas, in Lubbock, Texas, he has almost 3,000 members. He has washed 15,000 cars, which was like their next year goal. And he's crushing it. And it's because he focused on building his list. And honestly, he didn't start building his list as early as he wanted to before the opening, but he still was able to do it a couple of months before they opened and really made that a priority. He wasn't wasting money on Facebook ads trying to get people to opt in or buy his unlimited club through all of that stuff. He was focused on spending even his ad money on getting people to opt into that list. And then he could run specials. He could run flash sales. He could run, getting campaigns to that list to get people to show up and convert them to members, and even getting those retail washes. So this is why, I get frustrated because, I have conversations with customers. I mean, I can't tell you how many times I've had this exact conversation. I had it again last week. We just had a grand opening at our car wash. We're so excited. We washed 9,000 cars. I'm like, awesome. Why is your list only 1,000 people? If you wash 9,000 cars, why do you have a text club list that's only 1,000 people? You should have 9,000 people on that list. Well, we gave a whole bunch of free washes this weekend and 9,000 people showed up. I'm like, okay, well, 9,000 people didn't show up because a lot of those people probably came and washed 5 or 6 times because you were just doing free washes and giving them away with nothing in exchange. You should have thousands of people on your list if you watch that many cars over your grand opening weekend, but you forgot to get numbers. And when I talked last week, when I talked with that owner, he was so frustrated with himself because the question I asked him is, how are you going to get those people to show back up? He's like, I have no idea.
Because we put out a really good, clean car. Well, so is your neighbor. So is everybody
else.
You're
not the first car wash in your city.
You're not the first one. And they're there because it's free.
Right.
So what are you doing in exchange for that? And Josh, we've harped on that. I know that was one of your things. The other thing that we'll talk about, let's go over a few ways to just reiterate with our customers. Now, Josh, we have customers now for several years. And literally I'll hear, hey, we did this advertisement at the grocery store on receipts. And we blah, blah, blah. I said, well, did you do it? Did you throw a keyword on there? Did you throw a QR code on there? Oh, no. Man, that's a great idea. So I'm like, okay, you've been our customer for how long? Every single thing you do, you put a keyword or a QR code. That is direct response marketing. Stop trying to brand or just throw put your logo and you put out a good car and we're having a sale this weekend and, we're grand opening. You've got to put a call to action to get their dang number. So whether they're coming on site for that grand opening that Josh is talking about, right? There's so many tools. You can have them scan a code, text a keyword, have your CSAs out there with an iPad and, hey, glad to see you today. Do you have your free wash coupon? Oh, let me give it to you. Enter their phone number. There's so many ways. And if you could see the importance of that phone number, that phone number is worth $12, $15, $18 for every phone number based on statistically people converting, that's just conversions. That has nothing to do with your retail customer where your margins are amazing on a car wash. So get them into your list so you can keep them coming back. But we've given so many tools to get them into the club, to get them build your list on site. Your offsite stuff. We talk these, Josh, we have always talk about the 5 funnels to freedom. Well, 3 of those funnels, one main funnel is our marketing, right? And we have 3 different funnels that come into this marketing funnel. Your on-site, which I just talked about, whether you're brand new, whether you are existing for 10 years. I just had a customer tell me the other day, literally, well, we're pretty established in this area, so we really don't need to be collecting any more numbers. Really? Like, who is so established and who knows
music
the future
to your competitors' ears?
Yeah, totally. Like, continue to isolate or insulate yourself from the competition. And do you guys remember back what happened in 2020? Like, there's a thing called, I think, COVID or something, and nobody could really predict that would happen. But imagine having this list of thousands of people. That could happen again. Back in the recession, we've talked about that before. There are things we cannot predict, but if you prepare yourself, if you prepare yourself for them, you'll be okay. You'll be able to communicate. You'll have those lists. So on-site, Josh, number 1. Off-site, tell us a little bit, Josh. Give me a couple ideas for off-site that you
Yeah, yeah,
feel
I
that
mean,
people might be missing?
one of the things we talk about is local store marketing and going and partnering with coffee shops and oil change places or bookstores or local businesses around your area that you can utilize them. Drop off a business card, a stack of business cards, and just say, hey, this week we want to give your customers a free car wash. So anybody that comes through and buys a coffee from you, give them one of these cards and let them know it's on you guys. You guys are giving them this free wash, and they have to opt in to your text club to get that free wash. Fundraising is another way to do it, and utilizing our digital fundraising tool.
What about air fresheners? I like this idea, and I haven't really had anyone do it, but I feel like if you were to get a bunch of air fresheners with a call to action of a free wash, to scan a QR code or text a free wash
Yeah,
and hand those out, that's more valuable, and people are going to probably hang those up in their car and then actually see them. So I
yeah.
think that's hand those
This
out
is a
to the
great one.
local restaurants.
This is one of our customers, Britton's Car Wash. I went and saw him a couple of weeks ago, did an on-site strategy session with him, and he had these, and we talked about that very thing of taking these. He's got his, it says text Brit Wash 2 to 30400 for a free $17 car wash. What if he took these to the coffee shop and said, hey, we want to give these to all of your customers, and let them know on the back of it they can get a free car wash. And you took that to a coffee shop or a restaurant or something like that. He's got tons of them around him. So he's going to start doing that very thing and taking these there, because these are more valuable than a business card. And that's great offsite marketing. So you're using that on-site where it's your signage, but then your off-site of going around and getting off of your site to those local businesses and partnering with them and making those businesses the heroes. I mean, if I went to a coffee shop, Dutch Brothers or something like that, and the person behind the counter said, hey, by the way, Britton's Car Wash right down the street, they're kind enough to give all of our customers this week a free air freshener, and on the back of it, they're giving you a free car wash. All you have to do is text that number. I mean, that makes my day. I got a coffee and I got a free car wash and a nice air freshener.
I guarantee you there's local businesses that would love to have an idea for Customer Appreciation Day or Customer Appreciation Week, and part of their little bag or part of their whatever, you could even help them with that idea and say, hey, we're going to give you 1,000 free washes. Make your customers feel special and say, hey, thanks for being a customer. They may not want that item from if they're already getting like a loyalty club or something, maybe at a restaurant or something like that, they may not want it. But hey, why not get a free wash and say, hey, we've partnered with these guys, go get a free wash on us. I mean, that's customer appreciation. So and then thirdly, we talk about online. I mean, in online we can talk about forever, from social media to digital ads and whatnot, but I know we always go back to the website, and these days websites are so important. I would say in the past, websites weren't, and I say in the past several years ago, because nobody was really, you're not selling memberships, you're not really doing, things like that. And it was kind of build it, they'll come. But definitely we've seen it in the last several years, how important it is to have a good website, not just because people are going, hey, I'm going to go to a car wash website, but because you're able to drive people to your site from your list. So you've got these lists you're able to send people to. You've got the digital marketing. You're getting people to the website, Josh, and we're just seeing just an incredible amount of lead gen, right, from these websites.
Yeah.
So you recently have talked to a couple customers that
want to have to rehash these conversations.
like one of their best lead gens is free washes from their site. But what are they doing? The best lead gen, and they want you to take it off. Like, I don't get it. Like, it's super frustrating.
There's a little context that needs to go with it, because I think the context matters to the customers that are listening here, because I think some of them may have this kind of mind frame. And again, this goes back to one of the washes that was just having his grand opening a few weeks ago. And so his general manager emails me and says, hey, we just had our grand opening. We're excited. We washed 9,000 cars. All of them are free washes. Can we take our free wash opt-in off of our website and promote our unlimited club? And now there are levels of issues with that request specifically for them, because they don't even have their e-commerce stuff set up with their POS. So we can promote their unlimited club on their website, but there would be nowhere for the customer to go to purchase it except getting in their car and driving to the wash. So that is a complete waste of money. But then he wanted me to take his free wash down. And here's the deal. I refused to do it until I had a conversation with them, because Levi, our goal is to do what's best for our customers. And if I think they're going to make a bad decision, I always push back. At the end of the day, they're the boss. So I had a conversation with them. We looked at all their stuff. I had their OpSpot account manager look at their stuff, and we realized their opt-ins on their website is their best lead generator that they have out of their Facebook ads, their online on-site signage, all of that stuff. Their opt-ins are their best lead generator for two reasons. One, it was generating the most leads, but it was their highest quality leads. It was their highest redemption rate of the leads, which means that majority of the people that were opting into this were actually showing up to the wash and using this free wash code. So that is a high quality lead, and their website was the same way. Now, I emailed you this morning about another website that we had, that super weird situation, but we had built their website last year, and through the process, they collected almost 3,000 leads from their website from the time we built it to, for some reason, they had somebody else rebuild it, but they're on a different platform, but their opt-in form wasn't working. So since April, they have not been collecting a single lead on their website. So from June to April, they were collecting 3,000 leads with a 73% redemption rate, which means 73% of the people that opted in from their website showed up to the wash to use that wash. And then April 21st is when, for some reason, they moved their website to a different platform. Their opt-in form wasn't working, and they've collected zero leads from April 21st to today. And obviously, we've reached out to that customer in urgency to make their old website live, because it was an amazing website. But they didn't know what they didn't know. And so that's why we're having this podcast episode. That's why we're having these conversations with our customers, because if you just did one thing, and I had this exact conversation with another customer this morning, if you just focused on the one question, how can we leverage this to build our list? Just focus on that. Everything that you do, if you put a sign up, how can that build our list? If you partner with a business, how can this build our list? If you do a fundraiser, how can this build our text club? If your marketing strategy became, how can we build our text club, and utilize what we know here at OpSpot on how to build campaigns and run promotions and those things, you will crush it and you will beat your competition. But if you're not doing it, your competition will, and they will put you out of business.
Our whole goal is to help our customers win. And guys, from experience, from case studies, we just got back, Josh and I did, we went to a Dan Kennedy event. Dan Kennedy's the king of direct response marketing, and went to a 2-day event there. And what continues to be reiterated is the list are your people. They're the warm leads. If they came in, if they texted in or scanned in or whatever they did and got into your list, guess what? That is a warm to hot lead. Those are the ones that you want to continue to engage with, that will be customers, will be members. Those are the ones you want to spend your money on. So everything you do is qualifying your leads, like Josh said earlier. You want leads. These are lead generators. These are people that are coming to you. You want people coming to you. That's that whole magnetic marketing that Kennedy has written. It's called magnetic marketing, and we take everything that he says is so true with you want to have magnetic marketing where you're attractive, right? People are coming to you. You put the right things in place, Josh, you'll have enough business, and it just keeps coming back. As business owners, car wash owners, you guys run your businesses, right? You got in the wash. A lot of you guys, you have employees, you have staff, you're trying to put out a clean car. Man, that's what we ask of you, right? And you're making a difference in people's lives. You're making a difference in your employees' lives. Unless you're like born to do marketing, right? Like that's your passion. Not too many people are like, I'm this marketing passionate person and I happen to, go start a car wash or bought a car wash. Most of the time it's opposite, right? And so if you're listening to this, and if you're out there and you're in the trenches and you're in the weeds and you're trying to do all of these things, I'm telling you right now, there's not a better partner to walk with you, alongside you, to help fill these funnels. We're giving you the tools. Bring your customers in more often, convert them to members, retain them longer so that you can focus on the things that you got into business for in the first place, which is to operate a successful car wash, making a difference in your employees' lives and the people's, that you're washing their cars' lives, putting out a clean car. Focus on that service, right? Be the best at your customer service. Be the best car wash that you can be, and let a company, let OpSpot, right, come along, and we're giving you the tools. A lot of you have them out there. Utilize them, please. Get with your rep, and we normally don't really, we're not really pushing this a lot on our podcast, but I'm just telling you right now, man, if you're hearing this and you're like, oh, I didn't know we could do that. I didn't know we could do that. Or, wow, give me some more ideas. Please reach out to your account manager and make sure that we're taking care of you. And, if you need ideas or strategy, set up a strategy call or session to make sure that every time, like Josh said, when you're doing anything, think, is it going to build my list? That's what we ask of you today.
Well, the reality is Levi, beautiful reports and online checkout processes mean squat if people are not showing up to your wash. If you're not getting people there, if people are not washing, all that other crap is crap. It's a waste of money. It doesn't matter. And what OpSpot does is it gets people to show up to your wash. And like you said, if you're struggling, reach out to your account rep, because I guarantee you there's something there that we can help fill that gap and get you business and make sure that you're crushing it. So if you feel personally attacked in this episode, good. No, I'm sorry. Obviously, we are passionate about this, and we wouldn't, I tell customers all the time, if I didn't care, it's like what I tell my son. If I didn't care, I wouldn't say anything. If we didn't care, we wouldn't, for sure, we wouldn't get so, excited, passionate.
Well, we're passionate. We're excited. It's a lot of fun, especially when you see people do well, right?
Yeah.
And build, even like Zach, our own. Yeah, for sure. And we know that. So, but thank you for listening. And if you've listened to this far, and we appreciate it, and not not crying. But we love doing this. Josh and I love to get together and rap about this, and we hope that this is bringing value to your companies. And if it is, please make a comment. We appreciate any comments, to the podcast. Share it with friends, and make sure to subscribe. You can text cheers to 411-365. Text the word cheers to 411-365. And this whole podcast is about cheers to freedom. We talked about this in the last podcast, and our ultimate goal, Josh, is to help people see the potential and get to that freedom number. And ultimately, we're not selling databases and opt-ins and whatnot. We're selling the opportunity to run a super successful wash, so you have the freedom to take your vacations, to spend time with your family, to go coach your kids, and start doing it now. Start doing it now. And so we want to help you guys get there. So,
and that's why we're doing the Freedom Summit. If you felt like we were passionate on this, come to the Freedom Summit. You'll really see it. And this year we're diving into our products. You're going to get to see a lot of the different products that we have built and how they can help you grow your business to really be a business that you're excited about, a business that when you look at the numbers and you look at the opportunity that you have, you can't help but smile because of how excited you are about your business, and to be able to take time away from your business and not miss a beat. So again, like Levi said, that's the freedom that we're offering our customers, and the customers that do the things that we recommend. We see it over and over again. They're crushing it. They're killing it. They're doing better than they would have imagined.
Absolutely. Well, speaking of the Freedom Summit, Josh, I know you just talked about it. It is October 25th through the 27th. The cutoff line will probably be about 30 days out. So make sure that you get signed up for that, get registered for that. We would love to see there. More than halfway full, which is awesome. We're very excited. And, it's not for everybody. We are passionate. You are going to hear directly from us. And if you heard this episode and it resonates with you and you're on board, you should come to the summit. If you heard what we said and you are more irritated or offended, then don't come to the summit. We're not here for everybody, but those that we are here for, those that align with us, and kind of like what my shirt says here, work hard, play hard, no drama. That's, the mantra, right? And if you align with that, if you believe in that, and if this is resonating, man, make sure to get signed up. We have a really good time. I love this business because of who's in it, Josh. I'm not passionate about washing cars. I love the people, especially those that are aligned with us, right? That are doing the things that we're learning, growing, and doing and recommending. And it's just a really good time. It's an awesome opportunity to rub, shoulders with other guys that are in the same boat that you are. You might be struggling in one area. People are there to help. We do a live Q&A session. So there's other people in the room that are smarter than we are, smarter than you are. So there's always somebody a little bit smarter, a little bit more experience that we can all learn from. And we don't have all the answers, but we're learning, growing, and asking the right questions. And so we would love to have you attend. So coming up, sign up. You can sign up at opspot.com. If you do text cheers to 411-365, you'll get some information there, I believe, as well. But optspot.com, there's a registration button. You can learn all about it, and we'd love to see you there.
All right. Well, hey, until next time. Cheers.
Till next time. That was fun. Cheers.